1, boost ignition, and liftoff. All systems are go.
Welcome to the Lesbo and the Bean universe. Lesbo and the Bean. LaTB, LaTB, where mixed martial arts and the UFC get silly. Big silly. Buckle up and move your tray tables to their upright position. And please, somebody shut that baby up. It's time for Lesbo and the Bean.
Welcome back, episode 177. We had UFC Fortaleza out of ESPN+. We had a midday show here on the East Coast. It was a fun-filled weekend. As our fans graciously let us know, the juice was loose in Fortaleza, and it showed. A lot of people having a rough night. Luckily, we have a big stretch of fights coming up, so we'll be able to bounce back. Even though it wasn't too hard of a hit, ended up landing one of them free bets. The other ones, not so much, but how did Fortaleza go for you over the night, Lesbo?
If I beat 50%, it was an okay night, and I beat 50%. I guess even with the losses, no huge surprises for me. Even with the matches that went the other way, I don't think there was anything that was really crazy on my end, and maybe there is something that you'll refresh me of when we get there, but right now I'm like, it kind of went where I feel like anything I was iffy on went iffy.
True, and we were hesitant. We were saying there was a lot of coin flips coming about, and there was. Hometown cooking was playing a role. There was some ugly decisions throughout the night. Some that we're going to talk about at the end of the year as far as robberies, I think.
We do all of them here. If you just took our main cards, our percentage is a lot better than most, but we get judged a little harsher because we even do the first fight of the night, which a lot of people never even say anything about.
Which is double debut short notice.
Yeah.
Get out of here, guys. We do real research.
Say something about those kind of things. So sometimes it costs us by going and putting those lines out there. But I still finished as bad as I did, just over 50%. I still finished in like the top 20% of the country. That's how bad and crazy of a night it was.
It was an unreal night. Before we really dig into the recap here on the Ricochet, right?
Yeah, recap Ricochet.
Should we go over any other news that has dropped officially? Any other bouts?
Oh my gosh. I feel like we had the press conference.
Yes.
And everybody's talking about that with Kamaru Usman going against Tyron Woodley and going back and forth, and they're both kind of cringy. People saying Ben Askren, some people saying he's the best part, some the most cringy.
Dana White officially saying 165 not happening. So stop getting your hopes up.
65's coming.
Great point.
I know probably GSP Khabib. Because just being a champ doesn't mean anything anymore.
True.
Then John Jones, Anthony Smith. And Anthony Smith kind of not, like, I planned on being here. This isn't a fluke. This isn't because I lost every match up to this point. This is because exactly, like, you don't think I've been planning on fighting John Jones my whole life?
True.
Like, this isn't an accident. Everyone wake up. So, it makes me want to put a little money on Anthony Smith as the underdog to knock John Jones out. Just a little. I think it's worth it. I think he's going to be a big enough underdog, and he has not just the power where it's that one-shot fluke. He's not an Ngannou. He actually is pretty well-rounded everywhere.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Just something to think about.
So, I know I got to take this podcast into the dirty areas. I know we got to get a little filthy sometimes in here. But the proper one himself, getting his names brought up again for all the wrong reasons. Is there more validity to the claims here we've been having at LaTB as far as these assault and or other babies on the path for the Conor McGregor?
We're seeing it pop up now in all the Star and Enquirer type magazines overseas.
The poo papers that some like to call them.
And, whatever, the Globe, whatever those names of those kind of papers might be. We're seeing the story pop up of this is Conor McGregor's love child, pictures of the girl holding a kid with Conor McGregor all cozied up, which the pictures don't mean shit of them cozied up like cheek to cheek, because he might do that with 1 million women fans. Like, that are like, Conor, can I get a picture? Especially in the day of selfies. It's not like...
Was there that young lady, though, asking for a paternity test, though? So I've heard that there was somebody asking for a paternity test, and it wasn't D.
Maybe, and if you look at the kid at first, you're like, that kid could look like Conor. But if you look at Conor's kid,
With
Conor's
D?
kid looks like Conor.
Little
Like with D.
Conor
Yeah,
Jr.?
Yeah. Conor Jr., yeah. So, I don't know. I'm trying to stick up for him here because I liked it when you have a lot of shine. A lot of people are trying to steal that shine. And I do know some hungry, thirsty ass bitches.
Damn.
I know that too, but I don't also put it past a famous dude to Kobe Bryant someone and get away with it.
Hey, I'm going to say, as a great poet once said before me, mo money, mo problems.
I think so too.
So, to get into Fortaleza, we started off the night at 125 pounds where Rogerio...
I can picture a rap video or like a video in general, but like a girl dancing around with a baby, like spinning in a circle, like, I got a golden ticket. I got a golden chance to make my day. And then it would be like, I got a golden ticket, yo. I got Conor McGregor's baby, yo. Like, they would be like a singer, like that Eve Gwen Stefani mix. Like, it'd have to be a singer and then a rapper.
Totally.
And it would all about be like, I got knocked by Conor's baby. But if a rape happened, that's bullshit. That's a whole nother level to the story of not just having Conor McGregor's baby.
Correct. Because those are some of the initial allegations. It has, to me, from everything I've seen, I don't necessarily know if the assault happened, but do I think he might have a little bit illegitimate love child? Arnold does. I'm just saying.
That wouldn't be. Famous people have illegitimate kids everywhere.
I'm not surprised.
People still, people are still coming out. They're like, Frank Sinatra's my dad. If you can look into conspiracy that Mia Farrow, that kid Rowan Farrow, that he's the one that's outing all the Harvey Weinstein, all the weird articles. He is Frank Sinatra's kid, some people say.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. Off topic.
Topic.
Hey, it happens, is what I'm saying. Underdog, relax.
Trying to get in here.
Night. That was Underdog being like, get off this subject and let's talk about fights.
Let's get back to the debuting Rigo Bertonen defeating Magomed Bibliatov in a three-round decision. This was home cooking all night. I think Bibliatov won. He won the strikes, takedowns, and knockdowns. Did get reversed in that fight, but it was one of those situations where Brazilian judges were seeing it the other way, and a 9,400 favorite, biggest favorite of the night, minus 450. Bibliatov, does he deserve a spot on the roster if he can't even get close? If he can't just blow a guy out of the water at this level?
I don't know, and I don't know if... I went back and forth on this, so I'm wondering if both guys just stifled the other. The fight was close enough. I couldn't be pissed either way. I did change to Bibliatov before the fight went off, so I was bummed, and I didn't know if I was being biased, but I also felt he won. I felt there was enough takedowns to solidify his victory, but maybe not. Maybe not. Whatever, Brazilian judges. Maybe you weren't the most biased judges on the planet. Maybe you're amazing. Anyway.
Where would you go forward with either of these fighters? Bertonen, do you think he did fight a good game plan. He did reverse those positions. Gas tank wasn't too bad at all in there.
They're both the first fight of the night, so it's like, do you move one up from being the first fight of the night, or do they hold it being the first fight of the night, guys?
Arguably, Bibliatov was going to be a contender. Bertonen, we didn't even know if he deserved to be in the UFC, so he automatically retains his position.
Yeah, I felt like Bibliatov was overrated going into it.
You
and
did?
I think that kind of...
True.
I don't know. Maybe guys stifled. They're just first round. They're first fight fighters. I stayed far away from this fight. It's the first fight of the night. That's how I felt about it. I don't think anything else needs to be said.
On to the bantamweights. We had a 135-pound bout with Said Nurmagomedov versus Ricardo Ramos. This was a TKO round number 1. 2 minutes in, Said just swarmed him. Didn't let Ramos get anything going. Landed a spinning back kick to the liver. Ended up shutting down Ramos. It was the beginning of the end there. I mean, going forward, well, here, the Bean had Ramos initially, ended up waking up and going on Said, thinking that the wrestling was going to potentially take more over. I didn't necessarily see the finish coming, but he's not his cousin. He's definitely looking good. He's got his own style, and I liked what I saw, but I really liked Ramos as well. It's just it happened so soon. We didn't see the full skills. What we did see, I'm moving forward. I like both of these guys. I think Ramos can beat a lot of the other guys still. What do you feel happened in this quick one?
I am still not high on Nurmagomedov going forward. I didn't think even though it was a first round KO, I didn't think it looked great in there. Didn't he get hurt a lot before that happened? Or did he just handle it?
I thought he was one-way traffic the whole time.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know why I don't remember it.
It was a quick one. It was a really, really quick one. With the 135-pound division, both of these guys are young enough. I don't think it sets them back too far. Saeed did end up turning into the plus 120 underdog by fight time. So if you put a little scratch on there, was he on the winning lineup as well? I think he was over those. Well, he had to have over 100 points to get a first round finish. I ended up having some exposure to both of these guys, so it worked out.
Yeah, I was sad. I think I had Ramos on too many.
Moving on to the 145 pounders.
That was one I got wrong. I was biased about it. I don't remember this fight.
You're
yeah, it was too traumatic. It just disappeared.
Localized amnesia.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know what happened. Moving on to the 145 pounders, though, we had double debuting Geraldo Freitas versus Felipe Corrales. I'd like to say thanks for the props out there on Twitter, because the Bean might be a soothsayer here, saying the cardio was going to take over for Freitas, and that's pretty much what happened. He got a shit ton of takedowns in between that time, moving from the body to the head all the way to a double leg takedown. The judges are actually Michael Bisping, who debuted on Fortaleza, announcing with John Gooden and Dan Hardy, was actually saying, why is he going for those takedowns? He should try to finish them. And 127 points later on DraftKings, I'm like, thank you, he didn't try to finish them and end up getting 98 points. Thank you, he just kept racking it up, because Corrales has no gas tank with minimal takedown defense, and once he got tired, couldn't even get up off of his back. Saw that coming. What did you end up seeing in this 3-rounder?
I liked, even though this fight seemed like a never-ending long-ass fight, I really liked everything I saw from Geraldo Rivera. Oh, no. De Freitas. I really liked everything I saw from him. He was like quicksand. Caloris couldn't get a leg ahead, and yeah, I had him to win too. It was a tight fight, but I had 2 rounds to 1.
It was a close fight. It was definitely a close fight. Moving forward, both of these guys are going to keep getting shots at 45. I could see Corrales maybe getting a step away from here, but Freitas, they're both going to learn a lot moving on in the division.
I'll need to see another fight before I can make anything definitive about either guy. They were just so stagnant on each other.
I ain't angry with that. Then we went to the 265-pound bout where we had debuting Rogerio Rosenstruck versus Junior Shitting the Baby Albini. The diaper gets full again. Albini taking over the first round and getting a takedown within the first minute, staying on top for pretty much 4 minutes of that first round, finally getting back up in the last few seconds. And I didn't see anything that I liked from Biggie Boy off of his back. He did finally get up, but Albini, who's not known to have a big ground game, was serving him up all sorts of passes, doing really well. And in that second round, Albini's takedowns, because he gassed a bit, went to complete shit. Biggie Boy threw a couple uppercuts. That was the beginning of the end for Albini. He ended up eating a head kick after an uppercut. But it was also set up because Albini didn't really shoot. He more just dropped to a knee, pushed forward to try to get him to the fence and take him down. And Biggie Boy was ready for that uppercut. So I don't like what I saw from Biggie Boy at all. I'm going to be ready to fade his ass quick. Same with Albini at this point. You fool me once, and then you fool me twice, and then the third time, you can't fool me again. So Albini is time. It's just, unfortunately for him, fight IQ minimally bad. I didn't like either guy moving forward in this fight. I don't think we have a contender at all with Biggie Boy. How'd you feel about this one?
I'm not really... The only thing Biggie Boy had to really show me was how much you know what? Albini didn't lay a whole bunch of damage on the ground. He just held dominance and kept him on the ground, but it's not like he ground elbows the whole time or laid punches the whole time.
He passed guard.
He
got full belly,
He
knee on
tried.
belly.
It looked like there was a time that he was trying for a crucifix. It looked like he was trying for a Kimura, but he never really did anything that was... He tired out arms, but he didn't cause any damage on the bottom at all. So then when he's on his stand-up game, I still didn't understand how the punches he just turtled up, dunzo. So yeah, I'm not excited about Biggie Boy going forward. And Albini, where does he go from here? His cardio needs to get better. That's what I saw. I saw that his cardio gave up, not that he was really hurt. So I just need Albini to get maybe to a different camp. He needs to take some of that weight off them thighs and every single fight of his shorts are an entire nuisance. They're in a
regardless, diaper or not.
Something has to give. Like, he needs to do something. Like, maybe he needs to start running. I don't know what it is. Something needs to give. But I'm not into either guy going forward. And it'll be hard pressed for a sneaky underdog on something that I'll say stay away from this fight with either guy fighting in it. So, yeah, that's how I feel.
Totally agree with that. Then we had one of the biggest robberies we've seen in a long time. Earlier we were talking about Bagatinov having a contender in there, but there is no ifs, ands, or buts in my eyes. We have Thiago Alves coming in, the Pitbull defeating Max Payne Griffin in a 3-round decision. Split it all up. I mean... Thiago Alves in the third, he did win the third round in my eyes. He did move forward. Max Griffin did start to gas and really was just got hurt. Did Max Griffin get hurt in the second round as well?
I don't think he did, but you had made mention to it. That's the only way I was thinking if I was trying to be unbiased and not hate on the Brazilian judges was you kept saying, is Max Griffin hurt? Is Max Griffin hurt? And I just think he has a noodly gait. I didn't think he was hurt, but you kept wondering. So I'm like, if you were wondering, maybe the judges were too.
It's the way his body was reacting.
He was just noodly. He's a noodly fighter. That would be my descriptive on it. He looked like he kind of was off center a lot of the time, but I think that's just how he fights. Like, he has a messy looking style. It's awkward. It's an awkward style.
Who did you have winning this fight?
Griffin,
Not who you picked.
2 rounds to 1.
Right?
First round, second round, Griffin. I didn't think Thiago did enough in the third round that it was like...
It could have been a draw at the very least, 10-8, but it wasn't even a 10-8 round.
I didn't think he did that kind of thing to even make it questionable. So, even with the hometown advantage, robbery. Even with the 1 point of a hometown advantage, a robbery.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Minimal, it could have been a draw, but Griffin definitely got it stole.
I feel about both fighters the same way as I felt going into it. Max Griffin, sneaky underdog going forward. Thiago Alves, even though he wasn't the underdog, I think that's what he's going to be going forward. People are going to be like, he lost to Thiago Alves, but because they won't remember it's not a robbery. Like, bookies going forward, we'll just be looking at the win-loss on this.
Right. So you're going to be able to play Griffin better.
You'll be able to get good money on Griffin, and Thiago Alves, he should be retired. He should have laid his gloves in the ring.
I agree with that, and I was probably looking forward with Alves going to be trying to fade him as well. I picked Griffin in this, and for all counts, I felt he won that fight, but I agree with that. Griffin is still somebody who's developing where Alves is.
Here's something I will say on Max Griffin. If he would have backed off, he really hurt Thiago in the first minute of the first round. If he would have backed off and played it a little more patient, he could have won that fight right then. But he burnt himself out mildly. I think that took off his knockout power. And whatever he did to knock Thiago fighting on instinct, that's the Thiago Alves you don't want to fight. Like that guy that's been in there 1,000 times.
That just reacts.
Yes.
Totally agrees. The muscle memory Thiago in there. So, interesting one as they move forward in the 170 pounds, especially with all sorts of issues going on in that division. Colby Covington officially stripped, by the way. Officially. Did you end up hearing that news over the weekend?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
What they're doing with these belts or not doing is unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, and did you hear this too? That they might have Tony Ferguson versus Poirier fight for an interim belt? And I'm like, what are you going to make Tony fight for the belt he still has?
100% agree, and that's wrong. 100% wrong. Number one bullshit. Habib also saying that he's going to stay out regardless of his 9 or 6 months, the whole year, because that's what his teammates got, the suspension. So, until they come back. So, we know that that belt is immediately going to go into retention for a year. We're not going to see it defended. Not my champion.
Take it. He can get it back. It's Khabib.
Yeah, you'll win it. Yeah, when you come back in, you get the number one spot.
In my opinion, I think Poirier, Tony Ferguson fight for the real belt. In my opinion. Let Cowboy McGregor fight Cowboy fight McGregor. I think let Poirier, Ferguson fight for the real belt. And yeah, Cowboy McGregor can fight for the interim.
The only fight I want to see more than Cowboy McGregor is Cowboy Ariel Helwani.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Ariel Helwani talking about how Cowboy Cerrone shouldn't have been like, hey, maybe I can fight Mr. Conor now because, that'd be a good fight and I'd appreciate it. And Ariel saying, man, you're a grown man. Maybe you shouldn't be asking like that. You're taking the little boy route. Maybe you should be, yeah, whatever. We'll do it. I'll beat you up, little whatever. Like, he didn't like that angle and called Donald Cerrone a little boy. And there's footage now going around of Chael Sonnen on microphone podcasting, talking with Cerrone, and Cerrone's blowing up like, fuck Ariel, I see that guy, I'm gonna beat his ass, I'm gonna slap him, he's talking shit about me, I'm a man. Like,
oh my god,
it was really,
dude, you know what's a good way to prove you're a man? You don't let that shit get to you at all.
Because he's a reporter.
You don't give a fuck. You're Cowboy Cerrone. Sorry about that noise. You're Cowboy Cerrone. Like, you're Cowboy Cerrone. You don't care about what Ariel says. You take it all in stride. Take it all in stride. You just, I don't know. I think it makes Cowboy look smaller to react in that way, in my opinion.
I totally agree. Totally agree. It didn't do him any favors for that situation, but something that is going on.
At what point is Ariel, he deserves some sort of respect for the amount of years he's been a professional in this game, in my opinion. Like, you can't just talk shit about whatever it is Ariel's saying. It's with validity. We can all agree he 75% of the time asks the best questions at the press conferences.
I would agree with that.
He's the only one that has balls enough to confront Dana when it comes to certain questions that we all want to know shit as fans. So as much hate as Ariel gets, he is valid, he's educated, and he is in the top 3 best guys at this shit. You gotta give him some sort of cred.
I could see that.
And I don't mean this shit as like I'm ice skating on a rink with them. I don't even want to be on that ice skating rink. I'm laying in the grass on a towel with a bowl.
Sounds like a good time. Another good time we had was at 125 pounds. If you listen into the Bean, if you're subscribing at Zoltanite or at Weak Neck Baby, always find us at Lesbo and the Bean. You're getting free bets, free plays, and one of those was Mara Romero Barella.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Verdict, same thing, at Weak Neck Baby on Verdict. So then you can follow us and
subscribe on the Verdict as well. Become one of our friends. Play against us on Verdict if you want to. We're always picking those main cards. But we had Barella come in as a big underdog, plus 150 over Tila debuting Santos. Santos ended up having all sorts of hype, but she was beating Contender Series women on the regional level with a padded record. We saw it here on the show. Barella ended up taking over, even though I would say in that 3rd round, Barella was gassed. Her takedowns went completely out the window. She was doing the Albini type of takedown where a woman with a good uppercut is going to knock Barella out if she gets in that position again. I really, really didn't like that. I like she won the fight, but I'm actually hesitant moving forward on Barella. I don't know how much higher caliber of women she can beat in here. I think Santos is also fairly low level as well.
Normally I would say it, but in the 125 women's division, I'm like, there's a couple girls that it's going to be a grind out, boring fight with her in there.
Yes.
Where it's just going to be like, stay away from that fight.
It's going to be a dirt. Yep, 100% agreed with that.
She's an Aguilar. Like, where it's just going to be...
They're going to be close.
Yeah.
They're going to be close. What did you feel you took away from this fight?
Nothing. At first I thought it was the other fight, the other woman fight, and then I felt sexist, and I'm like, oh wait, we're only here. Okay, it's these 2 women fighting. All right. And then I was like, what round is it? What round is it? I kept losing time span. in the fight because it all just seemed
It
like...
was a long one. It was definitely not too good of stuff we saw in there. But then we went to 185 pounds where Marcus Maluco Perez came in and stopped debuting Contender Series fighter Anthony Hernandez, Fluffy himself, via submission. Round number 2, this was all set up due to strikes. That submission came in because Hernandez was hurt, and first round came about. Hernandez ate a couple shots, which he eats a shot to give a shot, as we said. Here, he has good power. Maluco wore it all well, and I feel like the crowd, as well as the Bean here saying, hey, remember Brazil might not have the best AC. One of the first things of the night, didn't they say, it's getting crowded in here, starting to get hot and sweaty. Americans just might not be as used to that. We're Brazilian fighters. They've been fighting in the favelas. They've been flying with no AC forever. But Maluco took over in that second round. I mean, beautiful submission. Did he put him out?
Well, we looked it up and we were like, oh, it's summertime there. They're
On the
below
air?
the equator. Yeah, like, holy shit, it's hot. It's hot there. That stadium's gonna shit balls. And right at the beginning, we were watching it. Right at the top, they were like, "Ooh, it's hot in here." The announcers were saying it.
Dan Hardy took off his tie.
Right. You're so right. It was hot. It was hot in there, Brazil.
You ended up going with Maluco. I stuck with Hernandez. What did you like about his style in here in the fight?
I actually like Maluco going forward. I think he's going to be a sneaky underdog. Even though he won this fight, I think he's going to be a sneaky underdog because he's going to be one of those guys people underestimate the entire time, every time they're in there. That's what I think of him, and I think he has a grinding style. He took a little bit of damage, and it didn't finish him, and I do like that he had a good submission that was set up by strikes. He had good striking to get in there. It was like a 7-punch combination a few times, I think we saw from him.
Yeah, he unleashed in there.
I really liked everything I saw from Maluco. And I don't know about Hernandez going forward. 185 too. That kind of cardio that Maluco showed at the beginning of round 2. I'm like, you looking good to me.
So this is one of Lesbo's patented plays. Max Payne Griffin and Aaron Hernandez, longtime training partners, coming up together. They're not getting it done in there. So you either pick them both or not if you wanted to stay to training camp. And
but I think Max Griffin did.
I agree, he won.
I didn't put that. Don't put that on me. That was you put
my
that.
Bad. I pointed it out.
Because I think Max Griffin did get it done.
I do agree with that. So then we go on.
And we can't even do the all Brazil or no Brazil. Well, I guess you kind of can.
Well, out of that gym, I guess. Yeah. So then we went on to the main card, though. At 115 pounds, we had Froda coming in 7 pounds overweight. Didn't even try to make weight. It was unreal.
That's shitty.
Souza still wanting to take the fight, saying, "Hey, I came down here to fight." You have to at that point.
You gotta pay. You gotta feed your family.
Totally.
Like, that's the part where it's like, well, of course, now I gotta take it. I wish you would have at least called me last night at 11 p.m. and said, hey, girl, go and fucking have a McDonald's cheeseburger because I'm gonna miss by fucking 7 pounds. That's straight up. And then I would get not mad and I'd give your 20% back to you for doing that shit.
It was 40. Froda officially gave up 40% of
as
her
well
purse.
She should. And I would be like, thank you very much. Yep. 7 pounds, thank you very much. I'll take it.
So Froda she's got her foot in the door now. I feel like she was, if they would have said we want 100% of your purse, Froda would have taken that because it gets her foot in the door in the UFC where win or loss, she's going to then be able to get another fight. I guarantee you it's at 125 pounds. That lady ain't moving to 115 where Sousa is a 115-pound fighter. Black belt jiu-jitsu. She took over all 3 rounds, really used her takedowns. Froda has that big power, but no gas tank. She was undisciplined in there. I mean, if you could tell by her weight cut, that wasn't there. It told a lot about her style. She threw everything into the wind and just wasn't setting stuff up. A technical fighter will beat her 9 times out of 10. She's got that power, but she's relying on it too much. I don't like what I saw in there from Froda at all. And Souza, against a real 115er, she's somebody on the ground and striking-wise that can hold her own because Froda hit her with a couple heavy rights, and she walked right through them, got the trip, and kept on working. So I like what I saw from Sousa there. What do you
I
take
agree.
away from that
I think
fight?
she's a dangerous little dark horse in the 115 right now.
She fought a 125er.
I 100% agree with you. I think Froda has no business being in the 115. With missing by 7 pounds, there's not even a question you don't get to try again.
I would agree, right? Like, you don't even get another shot.
If you miss by 2, we can talk about you going again. Sometimes shit just happens. 7 pounds. And I'm also going to be honest, too. I think first excuse you're going to go to is, I was on my period.
I was on the blood moon.
It was the harvest moon.
It was.
It was the harvest moon.
So, then we got...
Isn't that like an Echo and the Bunnymen song? Who sings... There's like...
I couldn't tell you those lyrics. That you're on your own on that one.
Sticking out.
One that I was on my own with was Justin Ledet coming in and defeating Johnny Walker, and that didn't happen at all. I ended up putting a free prop bet out there thinking it could go to decision. Ledet's jab was going to play a factor in there. It took all of 15 seconds for Johnny Walker to dance his way to a victory. I mean, the victory celebration was longer than this fight.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct.
He was doing backflips,
let's
worming.
Just talk about the victory celebration.
He danced all the way in.
Yeah.
He was breaking it down. Who was it? Karen Bryan was freaking getting hot and bothered in the stands with Bisping right as they're walking into the ring. I mean, they say touch gloves.
So it was Karen Bryant on the side.
No, she was up in the booth.
We were wondering. We heard it, and we were wondering if there was a lady ringside, or we knew it was Michael Bisping and who he was with down there.
Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy was up. It was Dan Hardy down by the ring.
That's what I thought. And John Gooden.
I thought they were up in the booth.
I thought they went there after the fights.
Oh my gosh, we know Michael Bisping was ringside
for sure.
But, so Johnny Walker going forward, did he show us enough that you're like, this guy's a powerhouse, or are you still feeling Ngannou about him?
I mean, I don't know why I'm not getting on the Johnny Walker train, because I picked against him twice, and it took in seconds both times to get these guys out of here. So I don't know why I'm picking against him. I probably shouldn't be. It was a spinning back fist and then almost an illegal kick.
Almost, but he didn't do it.
He didn't land it. He threw it, but he didn't land it. And then some hammer fists, ground and pound, officially put it out. Ledet, I feel like Lesbo had a very valid point here. A lot like Samson. When that hair ain't flowing, the muscle ain't growing.
He cut his hair off.
I actually am going to say that that's a valid theory, but I'm sticking more behind Justin Ledet is a 265-pound fighter. Even though he likes to be healthy and stuff, put on the muscle. But at 205, he doesn't have the body size for it. He needs to...
I don't know if Justin Ledet's UFC caliber. I think Johnny Walker's a very dangerous man. I want 205. Who do we need to see Johnny Walker fight next to really be like, okay, this shit's real?
So it would have to be a big step up. Who do we have in there?
It does have to be a big step up. I agree with you. You know who I think we should give it? Manawa.
That's the perfect chin against Johnny Walker. And he can strike. I mean, he can get a gunfight in there for sure. Manawa will crack you. I love that fight.
Yeah.
But Manawa's coming off of a loss.
But I wouldn't mind for us to be able to see what Johnny Walker is worth. I wouldn't mind it being somebody actually better than Manawa.
Ozdemir has a fight already set up. I was going to say even that Ozdemir area. At 205. We have some other guys. Misha Shirkinov's at 205.
That's a great fight. That's a great fight.
Because it's the ground game.
Fight. Yeah.
You have to worry about the takedown, but he's chinny too.
Yeah, that's a good fight. I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
But then the only thing I don't like about that is then Johnny Walker, we get to see him fight in a lot of weird countries for a really long time, and I'm like, there's something, he seems like the juice could be loose.
100%. I do believe. We had some Twitter fans interacting with us when I put out that prop bet. We had someone saying, as you guys might say, the juice is loose. And God, he's 6'6" and proportionate for Johnny Walker.
Yeah, he's a
Nephilim,
scary guy. Say. Scary man. It happened so fast. It just happened so fast.
John Jones might have a contender, but please don't give him a John Jones fight within the year. Give it 2020, he needs a fight with John Jones, not 2019. He's too new. He had one fight last year, at the end of last year, 119. If he gets in 3 fights to John Jones, it's too much. He'll get blown out.
Who's Olenek fighting?
It's coming up soon. Coming up real soon. So,
what about OSP?
Did they already fight?
No, OSP Johnny Walker.
No, I agree. Did Olenek and... OSP, does he have a bout? No, he doesn't.
Or... Oh, I think Thiago Santos has a bout next weekend. I was going to say Thiago Santos Johnny Walker is a banger. I don't know. There's some bangers Johnny Walker that he could work his way up. And I just, about Justin Ledet. There's a lot of work he has to do for me to be like, this guy's crazy good.
I would agree. And I could actually see Ledet getting his papers.
Maybe. I don't know what his...
I think it's 3 in a row he's lost, if not 4.
It's just such a shallow division.
True. Very, very true.
But moving on.
To the 155 pounds, we had Charles Oliveira defeating David Timur via submission, round number 2. I mean, this started out as weird as we've ever seen it. The ref getting all sorts of involved in here, taking a point within the first 15 seconds from David Timur via eye poke. It was a gnarly eye poke. They replayed it. He framed off of Oliveira's face, dug right in there. After about 5 minutes, the ref took a point because he felt like it affected the fight, which actually I agree with. I actually didn't feel bad about it, especially because after the fact it did affect the fight. So it's like, okay, now they're even. Makes the round more even, but the ref says you do it again, I'm taking one. Literally within the 10 seconds of these guys getting in it, Timur pokes him again, right in the eye. They half break. The ref is just like, hold on, guys. Come together, has them shake hands, tell them it's going to be even. If you already took a point, you take another point. Right away, you don't,
I don't think he poked him the next time. I think he punched him the next time.
And the booth.
Bisping saw it and said he actually did take a point, or he actually did poke him in the eye the second time. But I 100% agree with you. I think dick kick, eye poke, that kind of shit, take a point. You know what your warning was before you got in the octagon? I know it, so you must know it. You're a professional fighter. Your warning is that you're about to get in the octagon. That should be part of the contracted rules. We will take a point if you do these illegal fucking boo-ha-ha.
Totally.
And I don't know how I feel about fence grabbing. I feel like that might be a 1 warning. You get 1 warning for a fence grab, second 1 point taken or half point taken or whatever. But I do think because I think your mind could just do that out of like you go to fall and your hands just instinctually
grab.
Yeah. But that was a dirty, deep-ass eye poke. And I think it was funny that Timur ended up with the nasty cut above his eye.
Soon thereafter, he got cut in that first round. Oliveira really showing his striking, throwing a lot of those lower leg kicks, throwing a lot of good combinations. Timur actually getting Oliveira, hurting him in that first round. Did he hurt him with a left? Oliveira was on his back, and we were like, get back, Timur. Why are you engaging? He finally backed off, but Oliveira,
I agree with you. Yeah.
Looked pissed in there. There was points in time I was hoping Oliveira was going to quit because I ended up picking Timur for the decision. Thought he was going to be able to fight that takedown, but there was a fire lit under Oliveira. He had an option of quitting and just saying everything fell apart or rising to the occasion. And Oliveira did all the right things there. We've talked about him being a quitter. He had many options in this fight to quit. Decided to stick in it. Good things for the young man. Definitely see a contender. He also got most submissions ever, or like tied for second or third. But Oliveira's making his run for that 155-pound belt. He's starting to get into those Tony Ferguson talks and all that. If he keeps going, I mean, tomorrow, not an easy win.
In my opinion, Charles Oliveira, it's not Tony Ferguson time yet. It's Anthony Pettis at best. But Anthony Pettis is fighting Wonder Boy. But it's just not that Tony, Khabib, Conor. You can't even get yourself in the talks. Maybe Oliveira, Kevin Lee. That wouldn't be a bad fight. Kevin Lee off a loss, Oliveira off a win. I'd be interested in that. Jiu-jitsu versus wrestling. That's a good fight with
that. That is a great fight. I would like to see that as well.
That's a good fight.
Soon enough, Charles Oliveira, specifically after finishing, set up in that second round, he ended up getting that submission.
He looks so much better at 155. Yeah. And he's even a guy, I can see his career at 170 as well. I think he's a dangerous man, and he's looking better and better in there to me. And I'm with you. I thought there was a time that I'm like, oh, here we go. Quit time, quit time, quit time. Oh, shit. And then he came out, looked strong. The fact that he set up his submission with strikes, same thing.
Exactly what I was about to say.
I like everything Charles Oliveira's doing.
And Kimura, I believe, went out as well in there. Or pretty close to going out. What I absolutely love, two Bronx. You know, boy, you got a special connection here at LaTB on Twitter. Remember to follow us, because you calling out Miami. We would love to see you here in Miami.
Kevin
the Sunshine
Lee
State
versus Charles Oliveira in Miami.
Let's go.
That's a great fight.
let's go. You got it right.
That's a great fight. That's a great fight.
That's a great fight in Miami. Co-main event all day. Let's get that one under our belts. That's a fun one. So loving that call out for Oliveira. He just wants to be put on that Miami card.
Before we get into the last three, you tried Proper 12 today. Do you have Do you have a critique?
Felt a little salty.
Do you know what? This is for the hardcores. You know what's going on right now while we're doing this? Masonic dancing at a halftime show at the Super Bowl. Masonic dancing.
Oh, is that officially going on?
I think so.
I forgot that there was even a football thing going on this weekend, honestly, because my Super Bowl was Saturday in Fortaleza.
That's hardcore, brother. That's hardcore, brother.
I had a Super Bowl in Brazil. We go worldwide with this. Getting it worldwide.
This time last year, I feel like there was a fight card and Shevchenko was on it because ours was called Who Needs Tom Brady? We got Valentina Shevchenko, or we got the Bullet. Or
that's
something.
The truth. And it's again Tom Brady and whoever else he's playing against, right?
Again, Tom Brady. And the conspiracy of it's always, don't you feel like it's always East Coast, West Coast?
I think that's the way the divisions are set up, so it's always East Coast, West Coast. I'm almost positive. That's why it's a national championship. I could be off.
No,
I don't give a damn about football.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't give a damn.
One thing I will say, you tried Proper 12.
Proper 12.
And?
I'm going to say I'm in the Max Holloway frame of thinking. I felt like it was a watered down whiskey. I'm going to get hate. I don't think it was bad. It was smooth. I had it on the rocks. It was smooth, but...
How often can you drink whiskey on the rocks, though? That says something about it. I drink just straight whiskey on the rocks. Right. I'm a little bit of a wuss, but I tasted it. I thought, wow, this just went down. I thought I was going to be like, or something. It was smooth.
I've grown a taste. I started on whiskey a little while ago. I'm not foreign to it.
So you're a Jameson over Bushmills dude?
Yes, I don't like Mills. Jameson, I've tried a few of those like gold and black label bottles. I know it's not that crazy, but yeah, I've had that type of stuff in my life and grown to fond taste. It's a sip and drink. It wasn't horrible, but there was just, maybe I let my ice in a little too long. They didn't give me that big ice. They gave me them chips, them Florida chips. But I wasn't let down. It wasn't, I would get another one. I'd get another
you weren't like ill.
Yeah, no. It wasn't the worst thing I ever had. Right. So I wouldn't seek out, and I waited. I didn't have to go get a bottle of it, but hey, if it was BOGO, I'd give me 2 of them.
Just saying. So that's the Rotten Tomatoes, the percentage. What would you give it on Rotten Tomatoes? We have to have our rating system. It can't be rotten. Out of 1 to 10, Howl at the Moons, how many?
I'd say it was a 6. It was better than average.
All right, that's
not bad. It's not bad. It's not, but it ain't
that's
no
a good price.
9. I'm agreeing with that. It was not bad. So then we got to the 170 pounders. We had Damian Maia coming in and getting a quick finish over Lyman. Good. Everybody saw it coming. Submission round number 1. Damian Maia immediately goes for the takedown. Chain wrestling nonstop. Doesn't let Lyman get off of his back once he gets him there. Once Damian Maia gets that figure 4 around you, he just transitioned rear naked chokes left and right until Lyman actually defended most of those chokes really well for most of the time, but it wasn't even under the neck. Damian Maia just got it around the jaw and just squished and... There's not really much to break down because everyone knew what was going to happen. Unfortunately, the conspiracy didn't come through.
No retirement. No, not at all tonight. And a few guys could have walked off with dropping them gloves in the mat.
Totally agree.
Just saying.
Totally agree. One thing, though, and I feel like Damian Maia said it himself in the post-fight presser and even in the ring after there that, hey, I'm still competing at a high level and I'll still bet Damian Maia against a lot of the other 170-pounders in there. He's
right. Even though at first, when he first walked in the octagon, you and I were like, oh shit, he's got that dad walk.
He's looking like Chuck Liddell in there with that stiffness.
Yeah, walking around like he's walking out to get the early morning paper on a Sunday with his robe on.
The difference between him and Chuck Liddell, though, is that Chuck had to rely on his reflexes for that timing for knockout, where Damian Maia can be stiff because it's grappling. It doesn't matter. He can just keep climbing over you. Yep, and then he gorilla trimp strongs you.
And I think a lot of his problem, too, is that he just took a few matches too close together. He looked really strong in there. I thought his body looked good. I liked everything I saw from him. He didn't need to retire yet, in my opinion. Lyman Good's not. I still bet him against other people. So.
I would agree. He doesn't move anywhere because Maia's definitely one of those top 5 guys right now. Good took a chance. He could even be on that Miami card because Good's in that spot where it was a quick finish and he didn't take any punches. He's good to go. He's rolling today. I mean, he tapped. It wasn't anything. There was no hyperextensions or blood. Then we went on to the co-main event where Jose Aldo came in against favorited Renato Moicano in a second round finish. Jose Aldo looking all sorts of good in there, taking this 3-rounder on purpose. He didn't want to go 5, and it showed. Jose Aldo letting everything loose in there. Those leg kicks were moving fine. Body shots going to the body and head. I mean, Moicano didn't have time to get anything off. Moicano looking overwhelmed in there. For this young man, he's going to grow a lot in this spot, but Jose Aldo still deserves to be talked about as one of the greatest of all time. And he's still showing it. He ain't just beating these guys in decision. He's finishing. He's murking dudes. I mean, this could have been stopped earlier than when it was. But, I mean, it was, what, a 7-8 punch combination in that 40 seconds of the second round that finally put him down?
I just think that people watched Brian Ortega and Moicano fight each other, and they're like, wow, look at these guys on this super high level. Oh my gosh. And they're putting that on the same level as Max Holloway and Jose Aldo fighting each other, and it's not the same thing. They are totally different things. So you just saw two better guys. When people were like, Moicano could fight, he would be the most dangerous guy to fight Max Holloway. Like, everyone was saying that shit too, and now you're like, Max would chew through everyone in this division. I don't need to see him fight another 145er. And in fact, I think it's like Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, everybody else. And
great point.
That's just this division. I think Jose Aldo, I'll still bet him against a lot of people. I like everything I saw out of him, and because I love Jose, he doesn't need to give me any more 5-round fights. He can just keep going in there and doing 3-round bangers and fast, impressive, super entertaining fights. I'm okay with that too. So
I agree. Moving forward, I'm going to still be betting on both of these guys. Aldo's still got a while. He's actually starting his year-end farewell tour. How do you feel about that for Aldo?
I think it's about time. Like, it's good for him to do it. I think he has fights to win, but he doesn't have anything left to prove.
I think that's a great call as well. 100%. 100%. Then we move on to the main event.
What? I would love to see Aldo at 155.
I was about to say, actually, Aldo could go up to 155, and that would be a bunch of fresh matchups. But if he's not going for that belt and he's on his way out, I could see him just getting a couple marquee fights.
If Max steps up, Aldo can wear the belt again.
I could see that. It's going to be a close one, for sure. Then we went to the main event at 135 pounds, where we had Marlon Moraes versus Rafael Assunção, number 2. Thought it was going to go a lot of the same way. Switching my mind, giving out another free bet on Assunção. The underdog money ended up swaying me. Marlon Moraes getting it done in the first round. I mean, these guys really felt each other out in about that 3-minute mark. Marlon Moraes set it up with 2 overhand rights that landed clean. The second one really knocked back Rafael Assunção. And then Marlon Moraes, instead of swarming with punches, did the smartest thing he could have done. Jumped on a guillotine and squished the life out of Rafael Assunção. There was a scorpion loose in there. Marlon Moraes looking all sorts of top 5 caliber at 135 pounds. That was decisive. If I even had a question, it is gone. Marlon Moraes is a contender. He deserves to be getting that next shot at the belt. How did you feel it went down? What do you feel what happened in these 3 minutes of the first round?
I'm not only frightened for TJ. Somebody was like, Marlon Moraes needs to fight the best 135er. It's time for him to fight the best 135er. And I'm like, what, is Cejudo getting out of bed?
Oh, burn!
Yeah,
Woo!
like, I think I'm excited about those fights. I'm excited about Marlon Moraes, TJ, which I think Marlon Moraes fights TJ, and if Cejudo's going to stay at the 125, he fights Joey Benavidez. And then they can fight each other. I don't think they have to fight back-to-back. Then it holds up 2 divisions. I think Marlon Moraes can beat TJ. I love TJ. He's just glass-jawed. And I'm thinking that going down to the 125 could have really affected him.
Wow, LaTB Conspiracy finishing off the recap.
I've said it before.
She has.
Assunção, I've never been high on him. It's weird that I picked him in this fight. I just am nervous about Marlon Moraes because he keeps having these super fast victories where I don't really get to see everything, but I liked everything I saw from him.
The little bits we did get to see in there. Assunção, where do we go from here? He's 36.
He's still going to stifle some guys. We thought he was going to lay down his gloves in the octagon.
As well, he could have done that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the crowd? We were talking about this because both of these fighters were Brazilian but living in the States. Jose Aldo actually living in Brazil. I thought I saw a lot of the crowd leave as soon as Aldo won.
Yeah, they seemed like it was over. The emotional plug was let out of the room after Jose's.
That was a real main event.
Like, okay, see ya.
Parking's going to be nasty. I'm getting out of here before this shit's
Does Marlon Moraes have a weird voice?
I think he's got a weird torso. I'm saying Marlon Moraes has he has a Luke Rockhold torso on John Dotson's arms and legs. With the head.
It is put on.
Yeah, it's so long. He is all torso.
Oh my gosh, if I really took the time, I would, on the front of the Lesbo and the Bean thing, I would take Luke Rockhold's thing and like shrink the legs down and like put it different on the front of it.
Or just move John Dotson's body, let it legs and arms on it.
On Luke Rockhold's torso.
Different color and everything.
Yeah, I think Marlon Moraes is a very scary guy going forward, and I think Assunção, he can still stifle a lot of fights. Which, it was just weird that it happened again. I can't believe I voted the way I did. I was trying to be reasonable. We went with the reasonable choice in Assunção.
Agreed, and I actually played Assunção on a lot of my DraftKings because at like 7-7 or whatever he was, I'm like, ooh, 5 round or even in a loss in a decision, I'm going to live with that.
Yeah.
The only thing that couldn't happen.
Quick finish,
and woo!
Yeah.
Dang, I was going to be sitting pretty in the money, ended up winning my money back on DraftKings, so it was a save there, but God, I would have been in that top like 10% of my DraftKings night if Assunção would have come through.
You.
That
5
fight
of
took
13
me down.
and you made your money back.
It was a brutal night. There was the underdogs all night though. There was quite a few.
I did not have a great night on DraftKings. I only went with like 4 or 5 cards. But
we also didn't have a televised DraftKings line, which did affect it because I feel like I play half of mine main card only.
Usually the televised saves my ass.
That's where you really make your money.
Yeah, I do better in the main event all the time. All the time with the main card.
So we have UFC 234 pay-per-view right on the heel. We have 9 more weeks of fights in a row on the way.
It's a gift from the MMA gods.
We're going to have a heavy-duty breakdown on the next 178th episode of LaTB. Be sure you're liking and subscribing.
Yeah, it's going to be that Whitaker, Adesanya, Silva, it's that pay-per-view stuff, people. Thanks for listening, and we will see you Wednesday.
Let's go to the bean!
Thanks for listening to LaTB. For all things Lesbo and the Bean, head over to lesboandthebean.com or follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.